want your brain. I just want your heart. Yeah, I don't want your heart. I just want your heart, 'cause I want you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching First Kill, Season 1, Episode 3.
First fight.
A lot went down in this episode. Some friends became enemies. Some enemies became friends. A fortune won and lost. No.
2 near car crashes. Tess is a no good shiesty bitch.
Oh, you're leading with that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
She's gotta go.
okay. So that was probably... I don't know if it's because obviously this is episode 3, so I knew nothing was going to come of it, or
yeah.
I guess I suspected we're technically not done with it. But I was less enthused by the Burns family like preparing for war.
Sure.
It is one of the issues, and this is, largely personal preference on my part, but it is one of the issues with these shows is it's like I'm more interested in the vampires.
And I'm also more interested in the lesbians.
And so I'm
like,
sort of
oh.
like, I mean, I understand that like the hunter part is a crucial element, but I'm also sort of like,
Yeah.
I want my,
Yeah.
I want my debutante vampire show.
Look, I know that probably wasn't a real Valentino, but it was Valentino adjacent, and it was beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. No, so we had tons of training. I think either Theo or Apollo is going to die this season.
Yeah.
I think the argument for Theo is that he's too wrathful, too quick to anger.
He's too gung-ho, and it's always the, like, super gung-ho one that has to, like... Because the thing is he is already at, like, maximum wrath, and so if Apollo were to die, he can't get more wrathful in response to his brother dying, so he has to be the one
It could break him, but
Yeah,
I think, because the argument for Apollo being is that he's not taking it seriously enough, and he's...
But that's why I think it has to be Theo, because it'll make Apollo start taking it more seriously.
Well, whatever the case, if it's Theo, it's going to be at the hands of like Juliet or someone.
Yeah.
It's the Romeo, it's the Tybalt.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
And like you did mention that Apollo has his like flirtation with Eleanor going on. I don't know what's going to come of that. Well, to your point, I keep navigating away from it and want to come back. So Cal can fight it in Tess that maybe not all monsters are monsters.
Well, she didn't even say anything. No, but she didn't have like, she didn't make a statement. She said, "Do you ever wonder?"
It was a statement.
Of course, but Tess is no good. That was so rude. So rude.
She told her dad. It was
Yeah.
like, and he got the guild involved before they even brought it to her parents, to Cal's. It was, what was with your boy who came to watch her?
I don't know.
That got weird.
Really weird, sort of sexual harassment-y.
Yeah.
And he just was like, what kind of promotion will I get if I like take you down and bring you in?
Maybe I says you're acting erratic,
Yeah,
and it's like,
I was like,
I didn't know he was a cop.
Yeah, it was really gross, really gross. But she like kicked him in the balls and ran.
Well,
She ran out the front door, and then fucking Eleanor got her, clocked her in the back of the head.
So we got a grandmother. She lived up to the expectations largely.
Her name is Polly Draper.
I think that she could throw. There's still an element to be desired, still an aspect to be desired. I realized in my mind I had just set my heart on it being, is it Cece from Gossip Girl?
Oh, sure.
But no, she was good. We got a lot of mythos. They did say in the second episode, but we did also get confirmation that they date back to the Garden of Eden in this telling, in this mythos. Well, I thought it was really interesting that it was like the fruit was a peach. And
Georgia.
I assumed that was artistic license because Georgia. And I thought, oh, like that's cute, especially for Cal's dream or whatnot. but then it's like canonically a peach. And I was like, oh, that feels weird to me. I feel like if it's not an apple or a pomegranate, it needs to be some sort of like blah, 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 blah fruit. Like, I don't think it should be a real, graspable fruit unless we're going classic apple. But that's neither here nor there. They had very, very, very stupid fake Ivy.
Yeah.
It wasn't even bikinis. It was like diapers and like tube tops.
Like bandeau bras.
I don't understand why this is rated TVMA. There has yet to be a bad word. There's barely been violence. There hasn't been any nudity. In what reality this is TVMA and Stranger Things is TV-14, I will never.
I'm with you on that.
We both are on the same page with Americans' puritanical bullshit when it comes to content.
Because then the only thing I'm left with is that
gay.
You see lesbians and it's immediately mature and they have barely made out.
And this is not, they were grinding. I mean, it's sexual, but there's nothing. This is for teenagers.
Yeah.
And 30-year-old. And queer millennials. So yeah, a lot of mythos. Apparently in this version, Eve was Lilith's sister.
Yeah.
And they lived concurrently.
And presumably Adam did not exist.
Yeah, I was like, do they predate Adam? I mean, I enjoy the mythos. I love a take. And the snake was, versus seducing them, it was like the snake was the fruit of knowledge type thing, where it like bit Lilith.
Yeah.
But Eve ran away from it. I liked what was they calling it? The green Malkia. I liked it. Is the implication that is the snake, or is it a stand-in?
I think it's the snake.
Well, I mean, they had an Eve stand-in that they did not explain.
They were going to hunt her.
Yeah, she was very enthusiastic about it. Where did she come from? What did she think was happening? There's an implication that she was glamored, but it's like she could just be like
she also
like
seemed
a groupie,
just sort of like an idiot.
Yeah. Because they go to the pink room or the
the pink house
to eat. Then they don't eat, and then fucking Eleanor locks her in a car like a poodle at a grocery store. It was.
Well, she was trying to make Juliet eat her.
No, I understand, in which case they were going to have to find another Eve. I was baffled by this entire plotline. Apparently you were like, no, this checks. All of this checks.
Within the show, it fucking checks. I don't know what you want from me.
She was so enthusiastic about it. It was like, and they have her in this weird gold cage during the ceremony.
She was.
And she was practically just like, woo-woo!
Like go-go dancing.
And again, I was like, so where is Adam in this scenario? I don't know. Not the point. We met Oliver.
Yeah.
Sure? Did you get that vibe?
What vibe?
This might as well be Oliver? I was like, well, because at first I was like, who is this native man? And then like the more I looked at him, I was like, I guess he's white.
His name is Dylan McNamara. I think he's white.
He doesn't look like Eleanor's twin.
No.
And he just sort of showed up and menaced Elizabeth Mitchell and Margot and Sebastian. And I guess the big reveal from them was that Margot is actually, because the implication has been that like Juliet's going to end up being the black sheep of the family. And the big reveal was that Margot is in fact the black sheep of the family because we figured out what the deal is with Sebastian.
Yeah.
It's that she made him. Although it seems like she fell in love with him first.
Yeah.
And then made him.
Yeah.
And she was supposed to marry some like
presumably
vampire
another
prince.
legacy vampire, yeah.
And she ran off, and as such, that's sort of how they got into the circumstance. And I guess their mother is held in such high regard that she makes the family, or she made the family come for Eleanor's.
Yeah. But she like allowed them not to come. Consecration is what they're calling it.
There were a lot of words. And also it seems like Oliver versus being like the bad seed is more of a Juliet.
Yeah. He basically just was like, you don't have to live this way. And like once Juliet realized that Eleanor had gotten Calliope and had her like tied to a tree so that she would like make her first kill right before the ceremony or whatever. She also kept on. Her reasoning for killing Calliope is she was like, you know her and you like her, so just kill her. And I was like, those are not plus marks.
So I still am unsure how I feel about that. I think the fact that this ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, I'm reserving my right to have a hard opinion until I watch episode 4. I don't think I loved it from Eleanor, but it did make sense from her logic, from the vampire logic. Her sort of she betrays Juliet in the sense that she's the one who goes and gets Calliope and brings her out and ties her up, and she's like, feed on her. Where I give her points is, again, from her logic, the way she was talking about it is like it's a crush, and you already bitter, like you already going to do this. So I think it's better than her doing it to Ben.
Well,
like, had she done it to Ben,
it's absolutely better than her doing it to Ben. However, I still am on the team of like, why can't we find a drifter? You know what I mean? Like, why does it, you know her and you like her, so it's better than a stranger?
And so I'm sure they've covered it, but they have to kill the person. It's not good enough to just feed off of them.
No, because she absolutely fed on her. If that was all it took, then she'd be done. In the pantry, she fed on her.
I suppose. I don't know. I felt weird about it, and then Oliver and Eleanor had a really lazy fight.
Yeah, it was like,
I mean, they were both in. It was like if Schitt's Creek.
Oh, Alexis and David.
Yeah, I feel like it was like if they had to fight. It's a lot of like, kind of pushing and then rolling a little bit. And
it's like, have you been seeing the stuff where people are like rediscovering whichever Step Up or whatever dance movie that Hayden Panettiere was in?
Well, Bring It On too.
Is that what it was? Yeah. And she's just doing this fucking insane, weird thing, and people are like, I beg your pardon? Because they're doing it to Save the Last Dance too. For Julia Stiles' like audition dance. And people are like, what is this? And it's all just disjointed moves.
Well, because we know Julia Stiles can do it because she did it in 10 Things I Hate About You. That was hardcore. Yeah. Like, that, talk about vibes.
We know she can dance. No, but it gave me those vibes of just like a bunch of disjointed dance moves that are like edited together.
Did Addison Rae choreograph this?
Yeah, right.
This fight sequence? Yeah, it was strange. And basically, Oliver and Eleanor and Juliet and Calliope, well, because Calliope like came to and was sort of like, run!
Yeah.
Also, the Burns were just, I wasn't entirely sure what their plan was. Because based on what we saw, they alerted all the vampires to the fact that they were coming and then sort of like jogged in.
Well, the other thing
with goggles.
The other thing to me too is we got some information about the hunter side of it, which is that there are levels that you apparently reach, and they are currently blades, but they don't want to be blades forever. They want to move up, but in order to move up, they have to like complete this thing, which was not their initial
assignment.
The Legacy Vampires was not actually their initial assignment, but Calliope like did them a solid, and this is going to get them out of it. And so the whole time they're just like, this is going to get us out of this category, and like, this is the thing. And I was like, you are very confident that you are going to win this fight against evidently like 90% of the Legacy Vampires in the world who have come to watch this ceremony. Because every time you come back to them, they're like, oh, the Legacy Vampires in Savannah are gonna die tonight, and I'm like, I don't think they are.
Evil dies tonight. Like, evil dies tonight.
But you're right about alerting them, because they turned on the noise thing.
Which, I mean, the implication was that it was like annoying, but it wasn't like it like hypnotized them or like really disabled them. They all just sort of were like, ah.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was there was a lot happening. I'm still liking it. I want to see Margot and Talia's lunch date.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're not going to get it based on where we are in the story now.
I feel like we still need to have some wine after church.
I was a little more intrigued. Well, I was a little bit more into the intrigue of it all. Yeah. And now that we're at full blown, it's sort of like American Horror Story Coven.
Oh, okay.
Where it's like by episode 10, you're like, witch hunters! Yeah. And it's like, it turns into this like Black Ops, and you're like, what? Thing. And that's a little bit where I am with it. I want to see where this is going.
Yeah.
Because also, when the way the episode ended, when they were like running off, it ended with Juliet kind of like stuck between, and because it was her mother was calling her.
Yeah, but then it seemed like she wanted to run away with Calliope.
Yeah, but also Eleanor and Oliver. So
Yeah.
where were those 4 people going?
Yeah, I don't know.
That was in conjunction with all of their...
Very odd. I have no idea.
Maybe Margot had been captured by one of the hunters and strapped to the prow of a ship.
With that,
Because that's what she was bringing to this episode.
we also found out that the bites from legacy vampires disappear, but they itch, and also the venom can make your behavior change, which is why they all were very like this to Calliope. She's gonna get the vampire on us. Fucking Tess.
You're like, yeah, I said it. I'm saying it again too.
Shady bitch.
Not a skate to the face. Maybe
No.
punch in the boob.
Punch in the boob for
Punch
sure.
in the boob. Okay. We
definitely-
need to make a hierarchy.
Definitely a boob fight. It doesn't deserve a skate in the face. This is not a skate to
No.
the face type of TV show in the first place. No, not a roller skate to the face.
Okay. Oh, Juliet and Ben had a very charming scene in the middle that I hope something comes of it.
Yeah.
Where basically he sort of called her out on blowing him off, and also the fact that her family was throwing this like party that he wasn't invited to.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. I mean, it did work for me to liking them and their relationship.
Yeah.
But it had so little to do with the overall plot of the episode that it struck me as odd.
It was a little odd, and then also we left it in a really weird place because he was like, "I hate you," and then just drove away, and I was like, "Oh."
Because that was cute, the whatever the admit and forget game that they were playing.
Yeah.
And again, considering how much exposition we get on the show, I'm not feeling clobbered over the head.
Yeah,
by
I don't feel pandered to.
No.
Yeah.
And I was sort of like, okay, that checks.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we're gonna watch episode 4
Yeah.
and
Also,
see if anyone lets Eve out of that cage.
Yeah. Also, just fun fact: Eric LaSalle directed this episode. He played Dr. Benton on ER. I just like him. He's fun.
Just think they're neat.
I just think he's neat. All right. Bye.